Today, I am going to explain from start to finish how I've been able to make millions upon millions of dollars in the e-commerce industry. Now, I don't usually like to talk to specific numbers from like a big picture scheme like this. I just needed something to grab your attention that is true so that I can explain this without, having to kind of have the douchey side of it or whatever, but explain it from an educational perspective so that if you are someone who is looking into starting e-commerce, you're going to know how to structure your time, your focus, and your business in order to start seeing success, because we're in an industry here where so many people fail, and I want to explain why. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hayden here, coming back at you with a brand new video. And in this one, I'm going to be giving you a full rundown from something that was actually an idea sparked by an Instagram DM that someone sent me, asking something along the lines of, hey, what makes you different from all these other people I see who kind of come and go in the e-commerce space? There are a lot of people who open a Shopify store or a WordPress website or wherever they decide to host an e-commerce business. And there's a reason that over 90% of those people fail within a matter of the same year. They completely either quit, give up for one reason or another. And I want to explain why I believe, just from my own personal perspective, I've been able to stick with it, go through a very long period of, let's just say, struggle and difficulty and being very annoyed and stressed while trying to make this work, okay? So I do just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who shows love and support on these videos. We've been, absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of support on each video. I've been trying to keep things a little more e-commerce related in the last few weeks, just because people are asking so many questions on how to kind of get this started into 2020. So make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe so that you can see more videos where I give away products, I give away, custom built websites for free. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be announcing a giveaway for a custom built website. Okay. Something you're going to be able to get a website built by my own team, preloaded with winning products for free so that you can help kickstart your business and do your best to ensure that you're going to be successful. Okay. So let's wind back the clock about 3.5 years when I was first getting started with e-commerce. I'm going to make this part super short, and then I want to explain some of the actual things that I focused on from like a day-to-day perspective in my business that ultimately led to me being, I guess, a little bit more successful in this industry than a lot of people who quit or give up or sell whatever they build or whatever that case may be. So my background on the internet side of things kind of led up into e-commerce perfectly. And this is how I actually discovered what e-commerce is. I used to grow Instagram theme pages. So, videos of people fighting, videos of cars going fast and boats parking in the harbor and, private jets taking off. And I used to post motivational quotes, anything you can think of that would get attention. I had anywhere from like 10,000 followers to 1 million followers in that niche. So I would grow all these pages. I would flip them. I would buy small ones that already had some traction, blow them up even more with my network. I made a decent amount of money doing this for someone who is 15 to 16 years old. So it was actually by doing that I found out what e-commerce is. And the way I was making money off those pages while I owned them was by selling advertising space. So this is what's known as a shout out from an influencer, or in this case, an Instagram influencer shout out. Somebody, either a person or a company, would pay me X amount of money to post it on my Instagram page. At the time, there wasn't story posts. So just on the actual feed, right? So I'd make $200, and the next day I'd make $150, and like nothing would happen for 3 days. Then I'd make another $100. So again, when you're a young kid, this is good money. And I was just saving it. I was putting it away, trying to figure out how to grow it, because I knew that, as I started seeing these companies who would pay me 5 times, 10 times, I'm like, hey, I know that they're making money. That's the only reason they're paying me. So I tried to reverse engineer it. That's how I got into e-commerce. And I thought to myself, well, how can I learn this? So I started, watching a bunch of YouTube videos and buying some courses and trying to figure out that side of things. And I realized that, probably the thing that made the most sense for me was to start Facebook ads. But I saw there was a barrier to entry. You needed $1,000 or a couple $1,000s at least to get started. So what I did while I was doing that, I actually just kept stacking cash from the actual Instagram side of things, and I started testing with Facebook. Okay, that went horribly wrong. I ended up switching off of that, stopping my ads because it burned through all of my money. tried saving up a little bit more money, and then I tried something a little bit different. I ended up actually going back to my network on Instagram, and this is something where anybody could technically do this, but I went back to all these influencer pages that I'd connected with over the last few years, and I asked them for promotions. And since they knew me, I got a little bit of a better deal, but I started building up capital that way, and then I went back to Facebook, and this time I had data. Okay, so that's a separate conversation on a Facebook ads perspective. But the reason I wanted to bring that up on how I did Instagram, but not from an e-commerce perspective. I grew the pages, tried Facebook, failed, went back to Instagram, and then I did e-commerce on Instagram to build things up, and then I used that money again to take another stab at Facebook. The reason I bring this up is because this has been going to be a huge point in the video here. So many people, and I see this every day because, like it or not, I have a decent amount of followers in this space, and I get bombarded with questions, and I get to see a lot of things from a lot of perspectives, and it's really cool. But I get a lot of people, and I can see all the previous DMs talking about TikTok influencers. Then next week they're on Snapchat, and they're trying to ask me about Facebook. You need to, and this is something I live by, focus on one platform, and you are not allowed, I'll make this rule for you, you're not allowed to switch off of that platform until you're making a lot of money. You've been doing it for a while. It's consistent and it doesn't take a lot of your time. So here's what I did. I did it a little different. I put all 100% of my attention on Instagram, made it work, got the data. Then I went to Facebook. As soon as Facebook was working, I stopped doing Instagram. For me, it was a headache. It was a waste of time. I didn't like it. It was inconsistent. So I put all my attention on Facebook. My attention has remained there for 3 years. Now I have multiple verified business managers. I run dozens of ad accounts for all of my own e-commerce companies. That is not client companies. I don't run ads for other people. That's not a service I offer. It is my own companies. That's what I run ads for. And it's been really cool to, kind of see a platform grow, see the platform change, and be able to learn through it. Because keep in mind, I was, 16, 17, 18, 19. As I'm doing this and learning a lot, I'm learning a lot about people, why people buy things, why people impulse buy things. I'm learning a lot about psychology, photos, videos, website development, all these different things. I'm getting experience, which was new to me, getting a pretty deep understanding of experience and being able to see, hey, if I study hard enough, I can find something where for every dollar I spend, I make back 3. And that was really cool because now throughout that, I've been able to scale out that system, be able to grow it into the millions, the tens of millions of dollars in revenue, which has been really cool. I've been able to get millions of points on credit cards, which results in free traveling trips for myself and my friends and family, whoever I'm traveling with. And it's been a really fun experience, okay? But one of the things out of the couple I'm going to share in a moment, that ultimately led to me being able to, I guess, be a little bit more successful on that side of things from a money and revenue perspective, is all I did was focus my attention on one thing. And I never pulled it away because Facebook didn't work for me in the first month. It didn't work for me in the second month. In fact, it wasn't until about 8 or 9 months in that I started making $1 of profit. I didn't see $1, $1. I didn't even see 99 cents for 8 months. Yet I was spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I barely had. So it was difficult. It was stressful, but I stayed with it because I knew that that's what worked. And I had heard from other people, and this is, just study around, but I heard, hey, focus on one thing, make it work, then go elsewhere. So that's what I did. That's what I've been focusing on. And now I've been blessed enough to be able to continue building out that system, have a team of people around me who help me with that one thing, and we're all able to learn together and grow that side of things together. So that is one thing I would recommend. Stay focused on just one thing. Don't even be jumping from eBay to Amazon, different types of e-commerce. Just stick with one thing. They all work, okay? So find your one thing and run with it. Now, another thing that I want to kind of point out here, which was a huge reason I personally was able to be successful, is I stuck with it. And not just from a platform perspective, and I know this is cliche, but I stuck with the business model. And all the people I was around and talking to at the time, they're like, yeah, you're going to make X amount, like it'll take 3 months. But I realized, and I've realized this over and over again, whenever I start a new company or a new investment, everything. I've never had it not be like this. Anything you want can happen. It probably will happen. But if you think it's going to take 5 months, it's going to take 10. If it should take 2 years, it might take you 5. Whatever it is, it's usually going to take a lot longer than you had, that you hadn't anticipated. It's late at night, I apologize. But it's going to take longer than you thought. It's really as simple as that. So be prepared for that and don't just give up on something. You have to be 100% committed. That is why I believe 90% of people fail. It's not a money problem. People at least from my experience, I don't see people like taking out crazy loans to start e-commerce. It's usually not the right way to do it. People they give up. It gets hard, and people don't like things that are hard because getting a job is easy enough. It's annoying, your daily routine, but there's not much room for growth. There's not much room for everything, and that's why most jobs suck and most people are unhappy. That is just the sad reality of it. So you have to stick with it and go through that period of being uncomfortable. I hope that makes sense. Drop a like if that makes sense. Now, before I announce this little fun store giveaway here in a moment, which is going to provide some cool value for you guys, I want to share one last thing. And this is probably the biggest thing that is inside of what I do, okay, from a day-to-day perspective as promised. So most people, they're testing products. It could be a wallet. It could be, I always show this as an example because it's on my desk, a glasses case, whatever the product is, doesn't matter. Phone case, this, that, doodad, doesn't matter. So most people, they're testing one, they're testing two, they find one that starts to work, and then that becomes their focus. But here's what I did, and I never really heard anyone talk about this. It just somehow clicked in my head and it makes sense, and I've never really shared it. But whenever I get a product working, and again, usually my marketing is on Facebook, what I'll do is, because I have a ton of extra time, it doesn't take all day, I'll go find like 3, 5, 7, 8 products that are really similar to that one. Sometimes I can only find 1 or 2, but as many as I can that are similar. And I'll go launch it on the same ad accounts, just in different campaigns, and most of them will be killed really quick, but I want to see which ones start to work. Because oftentimes I have a product that's making me some money, it's looking good, it's working good, but by testing 5 more, I actually find my real winner. So a lot of my big winners, the ones that produce millions of dollars on a monthly basis, those are products actually that sometimes are secondary. I had my one original product, I tested 4 others, and one of those turned out to work better than all of them. Okay, so that's why I think that horizontal testing piece can be super beneficial. And usually when you have data on Facebook and everything's working for you with one product, you can add a couple more that relate, and almost always, about half of them roughly are gonna work for you. They might not be crazy profitable, but it is an extra stream of revenue, maybe a little bit of profit. It's gonna help you build more data, more emails on your list, more text message subscribers, whatever it is you're doing on your back-end marketing. It's overall just building your company. And I know some people's goal is to build a company just for the purpose of selling it. That's not my goal, but in theory, extra revenue would help you, okay? More data, more customers. You're gonna get a higher valuation if you're making $2 million a month and profiting 100 grand. You're gonna get a higher valuation than if you're making 500,000 a month profiting 100 grand, even though you're putting the same amount of money every month into your pocket. It's just the potential, the customers, the marketing, it's naturally gonna be worth more. So, kind of pick what path you wanna go down, but those are 3 things, sticking with it, focusing on, not just the business model, but also my one form of advertising, my one form of e-commerce, make that work for you, then go elsewhere. I didn't dabble in e-commerce until I had already done the Instagram stuff well and I had the money to do that. And now I hadn't dabbled in real estate until I'd done e-commerce for 3+ years and I had the money to put into real estate, even though real estate's always kind of been the apple of my eye, and that's something I've wanted to do for a long time. It just interests me. So, you got to kind of follow that path, and things can take time, and that goes back to the point of whatever you want, and think about this. This is huge. This inspires me so much. Whatever you want, it can happen, and it probably will. It'll just take longer than you expect it, okay? Say that to yourself, let that sink in, because that truly, if you kind of understand that, it makes sure that you'll never quit, because eventually you will get it. As long as you're working smart, you're working hard, you're working on the right thing, and you're putting forth 100% of your effort. Usually it does work. People just give up for one reason or another, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button down below. Now, as promised, what I'm gonna do here, I wanna give away one e-commerce store that my own personal development team is gonna build for you. We're gonna plug in a couple of winning products. Some of them are things that I actually sell myself, so that you can kind of kickstart this. You don't have to worry about the website, the product, testing, all like this. You just have to focus on marketing. All I ask is that you focus on one specific type of marketing until it starts working for you, okay? So all you have to do to enter, all you have to do is go ahead and subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and drop a comment down below explaining one thing that you're looking forward to doing with your e-commerce business. I'll give you an example. For me, it was to be able to move out. And then longer term, I wanted to be able to have multiple streams of income, be putting money aside every month, just banking cash, and then buy real estate. What does that strategy look like for you? And try and think about that long-term play. I want to hear what that plan is, because if you start making money with this, you need a plan in the back of your head on what you're going to do with the money. For someone, it could be a goal just to help pay for, I saw this recently, someone's grandfather's cancer treatment. That's a super awesome goal to work towards. So I'm curious what it is you're working towards and why you have watched probably a 12 to 13 minute video. What is your reasoning behind that? Okay, so subscribe, like the video, drop that comment down below, and in probably 2 videos from now, I'm going to be announcing that winner from the comment section. So make sure to turn on the post notifications so you don't miss that video. With that being said, hope you enjoyed this one. I post 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.